Good afternoon. I sort of joked that I feel like we're in a middle school event in that there are lots of tables in the front and everyone's seated in the back. So if you feel midway that you really want to get closer, just come on up. We have lots of space. It is really so awesome to be with you today and to address that we have made it through academic year 22-23. I think that is a round of applause. Thank you so much for coming out today for this end of the year recognition celebration luncheon. When I was looking through the slides, there are so many great things going on in the college. The slideshow is now nearly 100 slides long. And just a raise of hands, how many of you, as you were maybe watching, saw something new? Yeah, there is just so much new and exciting going on in the College of Education, Health, and Human Development. And I really want to acknowledge that that's because of you. And it's because of what you're doing with students and with communities all over the state of Montana and beyond. A couple slideshow highlights that I just really want to sort of point out, because this morning I had the great pleasure of meeting with the EHHD Advisory Council, and they're here with us today. Can I ask the Advisory Council just to give a wave? Thank you so much to our Advisory Council members. And the theme of today's meeting was scholarship and scholarships. And that was really to showcase the remarkable scholarship, research, and creative activity that's taking place in our college every day, and the scholarships, whether that be student travel scholarships or emergency scholarships, that really enable students to continue to thrive, and internal grants that often are seeding that remarkable research, scholarship, and creative activity. And so 2 points of pride that I think our college should really be excited about. One is that we had the largest number of scholarship applications from our students of all time, 715. And so if you were a scholarship reviewer, can we just give a round of applause to all of the people who reviewed scholarship? To put some context around that, that's 45% of students enrolled in our college submitted a scholarship application. That says a lot. That says a lot about the need, but it also says a tremendous amount about how Becky Stanton and others in the scholarship community and scholarship committee are really working to increase access of the knowledge that we have scholarships available to students. Students are seeking them out. And so thank you, Becky Stanton and Joe Hicks, for making those scholarships so known to students that a record number submitted applications. And if you've also been watching, you might have, and how many of you maybe participated in the Bobcat Pounce, run, walk, stroll, or roll? We had in the second inaugural Bobcat Pounce 5K, we had 130 runners and raised $5,500 for 3 student scholarships named for faculty members from EHHD who have passed on. And so just a big, tremendous shout out to this community that is really supporting scholarships and supporting students in such important ways. We are capping off a week of what I would refer to as just party, party, party. Some of you were with us on Wednesday last week at the Outstanding Graduating Students event at the Grand Tree. That was standing room only. Like, there was no spots to be had. Those parents and partners and little people were so proud of the outstanding graduating students. So thank you for nominating and recognizing our amazing students who walked the stage on Friday. On Thursday, we had an event that was our EHHD graduation celebration at the Bozeman event space. And here today on Monday, we're having this luncheon. And I just want to give a real acknowledgement and shout out to Becky Stanton, who has been our events coordinator for Party, 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 3 out of 5 working days. Can we just give her a major round of applause? And to all of the dean's office staff who come and who set up and who tear down, these kinds of events that mean so much don't just happen. So a big kudos to the dean's office staff, our student staff, and again to Becky for everything that they've done to make it look so inviting. How many of you participated in commencement on Friday? If you were on the floor, you might not have been able to see, but I've never seen it so full. I am sure that we were pushing up on fire code limits because there was not a seat to be found up in the bleachers. People were standing in every nook and cranny. The floor was completely full with faculty and with student graduates. But in the back where the band is, there's normally a little breathing space. Standing room only, all the way to the doors. So we are graduating 100, in this college alone, 192 undergraduates were in the program and over 150 graduate students. You are making a major difference in terms of the retention and graduation for this university. And I just really want to commend everyone who's part of this teaching mission. So thank you so very much. On Friday afternoon, I walked home in my regalia, and it's always funny because as I walk across campus, invariably some family says, "Congratulations!" And I think, "Thank you! My gosh, you think I'm a graduate," which means you think I'm a lot younger than I am. But having just completed the first academic year, 22-23, as your dean, I want to say so much gratitude and how much I have appreciated the kindness, the warmth, and the welcome that I have felt by this community and the enormous support from the Education, Health, and Human Development leadership team. And so I would like to invite each one of them to stand and to be recognized. Kate Kaminsky was out for the fall, but I'll tell you, she came back with a bang this spring as our senior assistant dean. Thank you so much, Kate. Joe Hicks has stepped into being assistant dean, race director extraordinaire, and making sure that student clubs feel really welcome. So thank you for being so great, Joe. Mary Miles, our Associate Dean of Research, has reviewed so many internal grant applications and really does enormous amounts of work on the research enterprise behind the scenes to make sure that it just goes smoothly from your perspective. I want to thank and acknowledge Jane Downey as the Associate Dean of Educator Preparation. Thank you, Jane. Jane is completing her term as Associate Dean, and I'm so grateful. I had the pleasure of learning with you and from you as a program leader when you were a department head, and I just enjoyed learning from you this past year as well. Speaking of department heads, we have some department heads in the house, and hopefully more by the end of the week. I'll let Rebecca talk about that, but our Department of Education is led by Sarah Pennington, department head. And the other Sarah Schmidt-Wilson, as the Director of Operations. We have been fortunate to have really growing leadership in the Department of Health and Human Development with, under the leadership of Rebecca Colts as department head and Dawn Tarabocha and Michelle Grocki at Dewey as Directors of Operations. I know the slideshow is captivating. There are so many highlights, and it is my great pleasure to welcome Rebecca Colts to share some highlights from Health and Human Development here in academic year 22-23 as it comes to a close.
All right, I'm gonna have to wear my glasses. I didn't wear them last week at our award ceremony, and I had to have this way out here the whole time. So lesson learned. We made it. The year is coming to a close, and what I wanted to touch on today is also an era is coming to an end for EHHD. Our highlight this last year was the completion of our reorganization process. Almost. We're almost there. We've spent 2 years working on this, and this last year we went through the approval process on campus. And I'm happy to say that we are on the Board of Regents' agenda for next week. And we haven't heard anything. So if there were concerns, we should have heard by now, which means that it should be an information-only item at the Board of Regents meeting next week. So that's very exciting. The Board of Regents approved our request to plan last fall, which is why it's an information-only. So as of when the fiscal year begins, we're going to have 3 new departments: the Department of Counseling, the Department of Human Development and Community Health, and what we like to refer to as FSNIC, a Department of Food Systems, Nutrition, and Kinesiology. The reorganization has been a pretty bright highlight this year, and I want to thank Don and Michelle for their help this last year. Adding the extra layer of going through the reorganization process was a lot. And then I also did some teaching. And so without their help, it would have been really hard to get through this last year. So I just want to say thank you to them. Dawn will be leading our Department of Food Systems, Nutrition, and Kinesiology, and Michelle will be leading our Department of Human Development and Community Health. And I'll be staying on as Department Head of Counseling. So they've been great additions. We've spent the last year preparing for the role, and I'm excited to see what emerges as we establish these new departments, and I'm grateful to be moving into perhaps a more sustainable model of leadership for the future, and greater visibility for our programs, which is a good thing, and greater representation on Faculty Senate. We're going to go from 2 representatives to now we're going to have 4, which I think is a good thing, considering that there are a number of representatives from the College of Letters and Science. So that's exciting. I also want to say that another bright spot this last year has been we've had 2 successful sets of reaccreditation. We have Ascend that was led by Colleen Kaiser and Melody Anaker. I think they deserve a round of applause. And we have KCREP accreditation that was we were reaccredited by KCREP. That was led by Anna Elliott. Both these areas are set for the next 7 years. I'm looking at Colleen, 7 years, 8 years? 8 years, 7 for counseling, 8 for Ascend. It's wonderful. I'm not quite yet to retirement yet for counseling, so that's a bummer. One more. I got one more in me. There's an incredible amount of work and preparation and perseverance that goes into accreditation, and these individuals definitely deserve recognition for their contributions in those areas, and I thank them all very much. We also hired 6 tenure-track faculty who completed their first year. Emily Tomeko, I'm gonna have y'all wave. I know it's unexpected. I didn't tell you. Sorry. Jill Raymaker, still here. Sarah Mendoza, Anya Bartkowiak, Katie Franklin, and Wenhao Zhang. These individuals, they are incredible humans. We're really fortunate to have them at MSU. I expect that we're going to see some pretty amazing things from these individuals. They're just solid human beings who've supported each other so much this last year in a way that I've never seen, like a cohort of faculty coming in and being so supportive of one another, and it was really touching to watch. So expect to see some exciting things. And finally, I just want to say thank you to so many of you who've lifted me up with your kind words throughout the last 4 years, especially this last year. You seemed to reach out at a time, quite honestly, when I needed it the most, and your support and your understanding and your kindness as I've navigated these last 4 years have meant a lot to me. And as we head into summer, I hope we all find some rejuvenation in a way that only a Montana summer can bring. So, thank you.
I think I may be the shortest speaker today. So I just want to share some highlights from the education department this year. As a first-year department head, this year has been filled with a lot of learning, some stumbles, and a lot of growth. Thank you all so much for the patience that you had with me when I had to go search for answers to questions that I never even knew were questions, as well as for all the kind words and support that I've had over the course of the year. This former middle school teacher never imagined that she would be leading a teacher ed program in the largest program in the state. And I'm truly honored and humbled by all of the amazing people that I work with. So here are some of the highlights from this year, keeping in mind that if I did them all, I'd be here all morning. So I just picked out a few. So our first rural student teaching pod this past semester hosted 7 students in the communities of Shelby and Cutbank. And this is just part of the Rural Pathways Initiative that provides students with opportunities to explore teaching in rural Montana communities. I had the opportunity to visit both the student teachers in the pod and to visit with rural prac students in the fall, and it was so inspiring and engaging to see these students and the welcome that they were receiving from these rural communities. Dr. Bryce Hughes, who is not here right now because he's actually with a job search candidate right now, was awarded the 2023 President's Award for Gender Equity for his work. Feng Jen, are you here? If you're here, yes. So Dr. Feng Jen Lau was chosen as a recipient of the American Mathematical Society Young Scholars Program Award. This will support mathematically talented high school students participating in Montana Math Circle Summer Camp, hosted by the SMRC. Congratulations. And Sarah Schmidt-Wilson, give a wave, Sarah. She was part of a team of scholars who received awards for both outstanding research and outstanding service at the National Rural Education Association's annual meeting. Boy, I couldn't have timed that better if I'd planned it, could I? Besides having a great year this year, I'm looking forward to an amazing year next year. We have, at this point, finished 2 successful searches for new tenure track faculty, and we're hopefully wrapping up a 3rd with a candidate who is visiting today. So looking forward to bringing in some new faculty that will really bring some great expertise and knowledge, as we also then will be saying goodbye to a few people at the end of this year. Regardless of whether you're staying or going, just know that I appreciate everything you've done. All of the efforts that everybody in this room, not just education, have put forth to really support the educators across the state of Montana and across the country are so important and so needed and so valued. So thank you very much.
Like Sarah mentioned, at the end of the year, there's always there's endings and then there are new beginnings. And I want to take a moment just to acknowledge and thank for years of service some folks who are departing from our university and are going on to other places to do amazing things in other locales. And so if you see these colleagues, if you drop them a note, please thank them for everything that they have contributed to our learning community over these past years. Selena Ahmed from Sustainable Foods and Bioenergy Systems will be moving on to other opportunities, as will David Graham from Kinesiology, returning back to Australia. Marcy Gaston in Hospitality Management is moving on to a tenure track position. Congratulations, Marcy. Sunny Kim is moving on to a warmer place in Eastern Coastal Carolina University on the East Coast. I think Sunny's here. Congratulations, Sunny. Anna Elliott is also moving back east to be closer to family at the University of Vermont. We'll miss you, Anna. And Becky Hammock is going to the engineering education juggernaut, the Purdue University, and we will miss you so much, Becky. We also have a number of folks who are not departing, they're just retiring from our institution and seeking other opportunities. And one of them is Dr. Ioana Carjuza, who is not with us today. She actually retired at the end of the fall semester, and so she is already really trying on retirement, I think in fine, fine style. Another colleague who's not with us today, his retirement will commence at the beginning of fall semester, but if you see Dr. Craig Stewart, he, after 45 years, is hanging up his spikes and his coaching whistle and moving on to other things, and we thank him so much for his long term of service. We have 2 retirees with us today who are moving on to other opportunities, and they are, wow, they're just like 2 powerhouses of so much knowledge, and we will miss them terribly. I'd love to bring up to the stage Mary Stein and Melody Anaker. You cannot visit with students and not hear them go on and on and on and on about Melody and Mary. Mary, of course, as you noticed, was a Founders Day Award winner for her extraordinary academic advising. And just this past Thursday, I think like every single dietetic student came in and said, "Where's Melody?" Because I was at the table welcoming people into the graduation ceremony, and there's so many students who just wanted to find the 2 of you, to be able to give you a hug and thank you for all that you've done to create the richest, deepest, most meaningful learning experience. You're always there. Students know that they can always have questions and get good answers, great guidance and advice, in changing how we think about food and health and nutrition and how we communicate in our communities and with the land. And so I know this is not goodbye. I know this is not, I have a feeling that the 2 of them are going to fail at retirement anyway. Does anyone else agree? Like, I think you've already committed. Yeah, Mary's already like, I think I've already failed at that. So I just thank you so much for everything that you have given for so many years to Montana State University and to the College of Education, Health, and Human Development, for bringing on a program in sustainable foods and bioenergy systems, and for taking nutrition and dietetics to a whole new level. True story, when I was at the sort of debrief from the Ascend evaluation, the accreditation, they talked about how the self-study report could be an exemplar. It could be a template, because what this group and under Melody's leadership at the undergraduate level provided was really top shelf, the very best that you can see across the country. And these are the colleagues that we will miss. Thank you so very much. Congratulations. And while we say goodbye to some who are retiring, we also say congratulations to a number of outstanding employees and staff and faculty across the departments. And this Outstanding Employee and Staff Award goes to someone who, when I first met her, I was impressed and humbled, because sometimes you get a little big for your britches and you're like, oh, this grant application is just fine. And then Elizabeth Bird asks you these 3 good questions, like, I don't know that question is as strong as it could be, or your impact is as impactful as you think it is. She makes our work so much better. And I'm looking around and there's all these people nodding. So much so that when there was an opportunity to nominate someone for an everyday research hero, it took me, half a second to think about Elizabeth as an everyday research hero. She doesn't always give you what you want, which is like, yeah, that's great, just send it out. She gives you what you need. She is the Rolling Stones of grant writing and grant maintenance like none other. And Elizabeth, thank you so much. We honor you as an outstanding employee and staff member.
Okay, one more time. One, two. Thank you all.
And now I'd like to bring up Sarah Pennington, who is going to introduce the other staff award and then our 3 outstanding faculty awards.
All right, thank you all so much. So in the Department of Education, we've got a lot of amazing staff. So many amazing people that I couldn't make it day to day without. But today I would like to recognize Jamie O'Callahan. Jamie O'Callahan is the beating heart of the MAT program. She actively recruits students, oversees admissions, advises students, negotiates field placements, and engages in continuous improvement of the program. Students and faculty in the program depend on Jamie's knowledge and skill when they have questions or need guidance. She's led the program in shifting to meet the needs of Class 5 teachers across the state by shifting the timeline to program completion. She also supports the program by engaging in Giving Day each year to bring in additional funds to support Inclusive Community Camp, which is the first field experience for MAT students. Simply put, I cannot imagine that the MAT program would be able to effectively meet the needs of our state without Jamie's efforts.
Right here. Oh my God. Oh my goodness.
And I just knocked somebody over.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
And then I'm pleased to recognize our outstanding faculty for the Department of Education for this year. The first I will recognize is Tina Versland. Tina Versland's support of administrators across the state through her work as faculty member in the Educational Leadership Program and as program leader is evident anytime you visit schools across Montana. Principals and superintendents mention Tina as a mentor and guide along their leadership journey. She's helped them navigate the hurdles of licensure as well as the challenges of school leadership in a difficult time. Tina's contributions to our state schools go far beyond the scope of a college-level award.
Did you want me to read you today too?
The next faculty member I'd like to recognize is Dr. Sweeney Winschief. Dr. Winschief engages students in opportunities to direct their own learning and co-construct courses. Through this work, students are pushed to reflect on their own growth and scholarship in purposeful ways. In addition, Sweeney collaborates with colleagues from across MSU and other institutions in research and outreach. His leadership and mentorship, as well as his ability to engage colleagues in thoughtful reflection on our program, are just a few of the many ways in which he is a vital part of our department. The final faculty member I would like to recognize can't be here with us today because she lives in Alaska. Dr. Deborah Renio. Deborah Renio leads the Library Media Certificate Program. In this role, she advises all Library Media Certificate students, approximately 50 at any given time, coordinates course staffing and scheduling, and also works on grants and other special projects related to program development. And she does all of this remotely from her home in Alaska. She's currently wrapping up a grant that focused on program continuous improvement by purposeful inclusion of Indigenous perspectives in the program, and has engaged in piloting the use of self-paced modules within one of the program courses. As a non-tenure track faculty member, it would be easy for Deborah to view her role as program leader as simply keeping the ship on course, but her passion for the Library Media Certificate program has resulted in multiple programmatic shifts to better support our students and to improve their knowledge of truly inclusive librarianship. And now I will hand it over to Rebecca for the EHHD side.
All right. Well, I just want to say, as department head over HHD, I've had the opportunity to do a lot of annual reviews. And I'm so lucky. And I can honestly say that it's a pleasure doing them. We do such amazing things just across the college. But just, it was an honor reading through those and just seeing all the wonderful things and the wonderful teaching and the integration that's going on in the department. It was it made a hard task fun. Let's just put it that way. So I have 3 people today, and the first person I'm going to talk about is Roland Abel. Along with performing his job at a high level, Roland shows a great deal of dedication to his research as well as the community. Roland has helped students gain enthusiasm for sustainable food topics. He involves taking his students into the fields that produce food, providing them with an experiential educational setting. Students have greatly appreciated the experiential learning format that he's implemented. Roland contributes significantly to the teaching mission of our department. His commitment to the Sustainable Food Systems program goes beyond his teaching, though. He's been a productive and a successful researcher whose work has been recognized publicly, contributing to the mission of the land-grant university through his integration of teaching and research. All right, next we have Brianna Routh. Dr. Routh engages in integration across teaching, scholarship, and service in a way that's truly inspirational. In her role as an assistant professor and extension specialist, she works with students, community stakeholders, and extension agents with such intentionality. She provides valuable knowledge within Montana communities and MSU. She's committed to student learning and mentors and advises MDI students, as well as students who contribute to her grants. She approaches all of her courses at MSU and in the community with intentionality and student learning in mind. Her contributions are significant and notable to both Extension and the College of EHHD. I'm just making it awkward. And our third person could not be here today, but this person is Kari Orendorf. Yes. I have not met a person with such singular passion for their discipline than Kari. Kari is completing her 4th year at MSU, has worked to update the health enhancement curriculum and establish positive experiences for students in the program. For example, she started the homeschool practicum experience where students in the health enhancement program prior to their field placement can have this experience to prepare for their student teaching. Not only does she provide a good experience for her students, but outreach to the community as well. The reviews by parents and students of this program have been very complimentary. Kari is a force. Her care, commitment, and concern for the students at MSU is tremendous and something to model after. All right.
So we'll have the great opportunity to learn from each of these outstanding faculty and staff members next February as part of the EHHD showcase, which was also standing room only. We have a theme going on in terms of the use of the grand tree, and so please mark your calendars. But before that, we have some other events. Coming up on August 18th will be the department retreats for Health and Human Development, which I think are going to retreat all together, but still do some breakout groups by counseling, PhysNIC, and Health, Human Development, and Community Health. And that will be on August 18th, so mark your calendars, more information to come. The education retreat is also on August 18th, and then we will reconvene all together as a full college for a retreat on Monday, August 21st, in preparation for classes beginning on Wednesday, August 23rd. Just a couple things to save the dates. Throughout the summer, you'll hear from Sky Wernick in the Dean's office through the regular Tuesday times, just maybe not every Tuesday. We send it out on Tuesdays when we have enough content, but please do stay in touch and check your email periodically. In the last EHHD update that I sent out, there was a request for your feedback. Kate Kaminsky and I really want to hear, like, where, in terms of continuous improvement, what is the college really doing well about transformational learning? Where are there opportunities to grow? What are we doing well as it pertains to scholarship that transforms lives and communities? And where is there space to grow? And how are we engaging with people of Montana and beyond in respectful and responsive ways? And where are there ways to grow? And how are we, as leaders of the college, what are we doing well? And what are there areas for our growth and improvement? So I invite you, you'll see it in the Tuesday Times, another invitation to take a short, brief survey, because that feedback is really valuable. These kinds of moments are once in a year, when you finish the semester, when you finish the year. And so I hope that as you look out on this beautiful blue day, you get outside, you breathe the fresh air, and that you just take good care this summer. And we'll see you back in the fall, ready and raring to go. Thank you so much for a great year. Have a wonderful summer.